What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be putting together this guy here. This is the S2Pi or S2Pi. This is the ZP 0088 rack tower. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to get cracking on it here. The first thing we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and get it unboxed here and check out these wonderful little instructions here. As you can see, let me just go in here a little bit. So it has the actual contents of it here, how to assemble it, and yeah, we've got basically all the options that we need to do here. So I'm kind of interested to see how this is actually going to work out. I'm actually going to... So I think this is more of the configuration that I'll be doing here as the NAS cluster. Okay, anyways, this should be a fun little project, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I've got the battery changed here. We're ready to carry on with this guy here. So let's go ahead, let's open up the box here, and we'll keep these wonderful instructions handy here, and we'll see what we got here. I'm just gonna zoom this guy out a little bit for you. Maybe we can go a little bit more than that. Yeah, there we go, something like that. And there we go, look at that. So the actual instruction booklet was on top here. And inside here we have some micro SD card adapter boards. So those will be used, and I guess that's the easy way of being able to mount your Pi in there and then be able to still have access to that. So that makes sense. So we'll check that out. We'll at least get one Pi on here today. There's that LED fan here. So that... So that's pretty cool. It's got that kind of smoked look to it on the blades here. So that's pretty nice, and I assume these are going to light up pretty good. I like this design here. Hopefully it moves the air pretty good. The only thing I wish on these things that it actually had a filter on it. So I might have to get a 120 millimeter filter, so that way I'm not spitting dust all over my Raspberry Pi and my hard drives, because that's the last thing I want to do, is cause more heat on a Pi 4. Alright, so put that aside for a moment there. Let's see what else we got in here. A nice little kit full of all the bits and pieces we'll need, all the standoff screws and nuts here. We got a screwdriver here, and looks like 4 connecting rods here, so that's going to be useful. And I think that's what the big screws are in here. I think they're these guys right here. I think those will go on the end of that just by looking at it. And little satisfying blah blah blah, or if I'm dissatisfied, I got a 1-year warranty from the date of purchase. Blah blah blah. Alright, awesome, great, thank you GeeekPi. Not that I'll ever need it for a case like this, but anyways, good to know. Alright, so let's get this guy unwrapped here. All we have, I hate these. This is going to be annoying to get off, but alright, I guess there's only one way to do this, and that's just going to be dive right into it here and see what we can do. There it is, found it. Alright. So I was going to stream this on Twitch here tonight, but well, I guess it would have been the 5th of July here, as that's today's date, but unfortunately I had to reset some stuff and do some things, so I do not have it set up on my streaming stuff right now, so that's unfortunate. So you'll have to just deal with the recorded version. Alright, look at that. Looks like for the fan shim. Our side panels, and then we should have 4 plates here, and that we do, and they're all laser etched, and they have everything marked of where everything should go here. Let me just zoom in so you can see that a little better. So if we look on here, let me try to focus on that. It's kind of hard to see because it is a clear board. There we go, that's a little bit better. So it is all etched there, so you know where to place everything and put your standoffs in. So that's pretty nice of them. This does look like it's got a film on it as well here. And if you ever wonder why I like wearing gloves when it comes to putting together a case, it's because these kind of things become a lot easier at times if you can get a nice corner to get it to peel over. But I say that and now I'm having issues with it, so so be it. Alright, this film is pretty easy to come off here. Oh, really? That's terrible. I gotta try and get it all out of all the little holes there. So, alright, it's working okay with the gloves now. There we go. Alright, I will be right back. I'm just going to get all of these guys removed, and we'll get it down to bare plastic here and everything done here, and then we will carry on with getting this assembled. So I will be right back in one moment. Alright, so this is the Raspberry Pi that we are going to be putting on this case. And I do want to check this test out here on this case to see how well it actually performs. Now, I'm using this as a reference here for right now. As you can see, the temperature, it's running about 51 to 52 degrees Celsius. So, by putting it in this case, I'm hoping for a little better airflow just because it has a better path of flow than the current case on it right here. And it's sitting right behind me here, and that is the LabSys Pi case. Now I did flip the fan that came with it over because I wanted the air to go into the case. I figured, you know what, I probably should at some point drill a few holes for exhaust, but all in all, that case is a really poor design, so I figured why not try it out on this one here and see if there's much of a temperature difference. Now I'm gonna install a few hard drives on this as well, because eventually that's gonna be my little NAS server, just because I am getting a lot of videos and that, and I would like to be able to dump a bunch of the files that I have on the Raspberry Pi onto a local web server. So that's where that'll come into play. I'm not too sure if I want to use own cloud or just do the Open Media Vault, and then I can have option to add some bigger drives to it and get my movies and CD collections and all that kind of fun stuff onto there. So we'll see what happens, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to disconnect this guy over here, and then we'll get it set up on here. So this Raspberry Pi that we'll be using here, it is a 4 gigabyte Raspberry Pi 4. Before I remove all of those guys there, I'm going to want to remove the micro SD card out of here. I guess we can actually bring it in a little bit more here. That way you can actually see what I'm doing. And there we go. Now we should be able to get that out of there. Somehow. Thought it had to fold towards me. Okay, so all I had to do was slide it back there, and then it came out. I was just overcomplicating things there. Alright, so I know we're going to need one of these guys here. We do have 4 of them that come with it, but let's have a look at the instructions here. I want to get that on there first, but first, before I go any further, I want to make sure I do not lose my screws for my case here, because that's the worst thing, is having a bunch of cases laying around with improper screws to go into them. So I usually just try to put them back in there so I know they're there if I go to add another system to it. And I only use this case here just for playing around, I wanted to test the fan in reverse on the top of it there to see if the actual temperature would be different than if it was just exhausting it. And I think it was a bit better, but I could be wrong. So as you can see here, that's that fan. Usually when it comes, this fan's the other way. I did break one of the tabs for the fan, but I got 3 on there still, so it was still usable. So anyways, that's that guy. We won't see him anymore this episode. Alright, so let's have a look here. Let's see what our instructions tell us that we have to do here. Can I zoom in? How to assemble. Fix the copper sticks to acrylic layer after peeling and protection film. So what am I doing here? So why am I using 5? Okay, there's 5. So what I'm looking at is actually the orientation. So it looks like I will have to, so let's have a look here. So this way here, and then my actual board will go this way here, but then I have to add this guy here to the side of it here, and this is gonna go in through the one hole there, and that's how it's going to kind of connect all together. So am I using screws on all? I guess so. Alright, well, let's mount this one to the board here. Now, like I said, it does come with its own screwdriver, so we better use that instead of using my own. Let's get the full experience here. So I'm just going to pull that guy out. I'm just going to bring you guys back up just a little bit here again. I don't know how long this battery is going to last, but we'll keep going until that's completely kaput. Alright, so I want to get this guy here. Nice little case, I like that. Are we magnetized? We are magnetized, alright. So we're gonna take, did it say 5 standoffs? Yeah, I guess we're using 5 standoffs. And then alright, so we got our 5 standoffs here. I'm going to go ahead and put them on here first. And what screws are we using? I'm going to assume it's these guys here. My assumption. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that hole, that hole, that hole, and this hole. Okay, so I want this hole. I want this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole, and that hole. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put one in. Hopefully this is the right screw. If not, we will have to Okay, let's see here. So those are that one. Oh, you know what? I think these are actually the hard drive screws. So, oh, I need that guy back. That makes a little bit more sense. So let's grab a couple of these guys out here. So we want 5 of those guys. Alright, so now we should be able to do this. So I said one here. That's working a little bit better. I'll tighten them up at the end when we know for sure that I did this right. So, oh. Okay. Go here. Okay. That one. And then we want to go to this guy here. Right. I'm going with it. That guy doesn't want to tighten as much as it should, so let's go ahead and give it a little hand here with the screwdriver that came with the kit. Can we, I guess we can bring that up a little bit. Let me, that looks pretty good. Alright. So there we go. We've got 4 of our standoffs on, and I just want to verify that this is the right way. Alright. Somewhat. Come on. Alright, you just gotta go on there all at the same time. Okay, so what we do when that kind of happens is we just loosen them off, and then we'll tighten them all up at the end. So that's what I was kind of afraid of. But, you know, when you got these laser cut boards, it's only as good as its maker. Or its machine, whichever one you want to blame. Alright, so we got our writing up here still. That's where I'm looking. There we go. So now it goes into place. And then, right, because this is going to be out the back. So we want this guy in here. But it's going to go, does that go up or? It's hard to tell. I can't tell if it goes up or if it goes down. So anyways, we'll just go ahead and get this last standoff on, and then maybe what I'll do is I will try to put it on the bottom, which probably makes sense, but we'll see here. Okay, so I'm keeping that one loose as well. So I'm just going to grab my Raspberry Pi and I'm going to actually insert this now and see where it wants to go. So it looks like it wants to go on the underside here. So then we'll just do that. We'll line up our holes a little bit. And we should be able to just go like that. Alright, so now the next thing we want to do is we want to, I'm just gonna go like this. Maybe we can see it a little bit better there. Probably not, but anyways, there's a piece of plastic here. Now we want some nuts to go on the top there, which you know what, this is going to be a little weird. Alright, note to self, one thing they should have included was a little nut driver. Let's see here, what size is that, 5? No. Let's try 4.5. What size nuts were those? Okay, load that on there. So that's all they needed to do, was add one little driver. So we'll just get these. Oop. 2, 3, 4, and our 5th one. Okay, we don't need it for all of them by the looks of it. That's just a weird spot in there. I probably should have tightened up the bottom screws first. We'll try that on another one and see if it helps, because that one's not fully on, but well, I think I need to get that bottom tightened up like I said there. So we'll just go ahead and get this last guy on, and then we'll get I'll find my hard drives that I want to use. I probably don't have anything big that I want to use. They're going to be all mechanical drives, but that's fine with me. Okay, got it started. Let's go ahead and tighten up these bottom ones here. So if you notice it's spinning, it's probably because the nut on the other side there is not secure. So once again, this is where I guess you can, if you got the time, you can use your fingers. It all depends on how secure you want it. But I want it that secure, all nice and good. It ain't going nowhere. So that is one Raspberry Pi mounted on there, so that is good to go. We got our micro SD card slot on the top here. Is that a micro or, yeah, that should be the right one. Ooh, it's got a clicky one. Alright, I like clicky ones. I missed that. I like to know it's in there. Oh, I gotta tighten this one up. So the bottom is tight. I just gotta tighten the top nut. Give it a little turn, nothing too aggressive. It's not gonna go anywhere. If the screws rattle off, you can always tighten them up. Alright, so there's that guy. One down. Some more stuff to go. So on this one, I just have this feeling I'm going to be constantly adjusting everything in the case. So I would have liked a more slide out drawer approach when it came to a case like this. Unfortunately, that's not the case. It looks like it all sticks together pretty nicely, but it's, to me, at this point, not ideal. And having a number 5 nut driver definitely helps the job. And I do believe the other nuts are bigger, but let's find out here. Yeah, they are. So yeah, the proper tools to do the job would be nice in the kit. That way people aren't trying to use like massive needle nose pliers on their Raspberry Pi while they're trying to screw in a screw. I would hate to see that happen. So make sure when you are working on your Raspberry Pi that you're using the right tools. And it's great they added one screwdriver, but at that point you might as well have said you need a Phillips head screwdriver, a number 5 nut driver, and whatever the other size was there. You would have been better off to go that route. So I just noticed one thing here, and I'm wondering if I messed up here. So there looks to... No, I guess I didn't. I thought there was 2 different sizes of standoffs there, but there isn't. Anyways, it does look really cool, but looking cool and functioning cool are 2 different things in my books. So I am going to be right back here. I'm going to find my hard drives, so stay tuned. I will be right back. Well, not stay tuned. It'll be like right now. So I found a couple hard drives. I found a 320 and an 80 gig drive. I found a couple other 80 gigs and 40 gigs, but I only have 2 adapter cables, so we're just going to use the 320 and the 80. So one thing to note, this screwdriver is the wrong size for mounting your hard drives on. It's only for the Raspberry Pi that you're going to get the right screw size. So just so you're aware, if you strip out a screw, it's because this is the wrong screwdriver. So I think for now what I'll do is I will just add the other 80 gig drive just to make it look pretty. So all I'm doing is lining it up here, flipping it over, So I had a bunch of hard drives. They're not working that were bigger, but that's okay. Alright, so there we go. So I want that one on the bottom. I want those here. Alright, we're now ready to put these guys in our case here and then get our fan mounted. So if you don't want the RGB, you can turn that off. But we want it because it's pretty. But I would have them on switches, and the fan I would have on another switch, so you could switch between 3 and 5 volts on it, or have a speed controller or something cool on it. That's the only thing I could think to add to that, which we'll have to modify it a little bit. Alright, so let's carry on here. So this is what I wanted to see here. So we need this guy here. So now does it matter? So I guess I would want this facing upwards. So we want that guy upwards, so that means these little shims here go here. Then we're going to use our long screws on that, and then this will go into the slot. No, wait a minute. This has to go here, because this would go here. Alright. So I'm going to try it this way. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we want our long screws here. And then we want a couple of the... Which ones is that? I'm going to say it's the bigger one. See if that works. Alright, so that works there. So we're just gonna... I do like how they added the foam rubber on here, so that way it will actually stop any vibration. So that is kind of cool. Yeah, that should be right. Okay, let's go ahead, tighten that guy up. Again, I'm not tightening it all the way, just snug, so that way if we have to maneuver something around here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So then that means this one here has to go here. Oh, sorry there, I didn't mean to bump my microphone. Okay. There. Alright, so I just lost my top down camera, but that's okay. So we'll just have to carry on this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure these don't come undone. We can come back to them after. This screw is pretty gnarly here. I'll have to take a picture of this screw here. This is not even a screw is what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to have to tighten it from you know what, I might have, I want to say, I think that this guy here, nope, it was close. Wow, that's pretty terrible. I cannot even screw that in, so that's completely useless. Alright, let's get this out of the way. We want our right piece now. And that's right. Yep, that's our right one. Did I mount these all upside down? I think I did. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. We'll go like that. And then we'll go like that. Do we have audio here? Or let's see. Yep, we do. Okay. So now this guy here needs to go up here. Okay. So that's there. Okay. And then this guy here goes here. Guy a little bit. Undo that guy a little bit. Alright, let's try that. Do that there. That there. This could go a little bit easier. Alright, there we go. We've got the case together-ish. Now it looks like we're going to take our rods. That. Put that like that. Alright. Alright, and of course I have to go and grab my own tools. Alright, that looks good. So go here. And what size screw is that? I think that's a little Phillips there. Alright, there we go. We've got this guy together. The only thing left to do would be to make sure our hard drives all work. Something like that. So this is the adapter that I'm using. I'll put a link in the video to it. I'm gonna have to grab one more and some bigger hard drives, but this is just for testing. So. There we go. That looks pretty smooth there. Got the Pi 4 sitting on top. Alright, I'm gonna get this plugged in here and have a little video, and we'll see how it performs. So I was going to show the temperature difference of this case versus the previous one. I had the same Raspberry Pi in, but it looks like the server is down for mining. I did have it running though last night. I was going to do a full day on it and just make sure and see if it kind of held at the certain temperature or not. And yeah, it wasn't bad. I was getting about 45 degrees Celsius at the max. I would love to show you guys. Maybe I'll post a picture up on Twitter once it's all up and running again here, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, that is it for me. So thank you for watching, everyone. You have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Take care, eh?